Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty cool things to go over. Loads of new Nintendo Switch 2 rumors have popped up regarding the price and when it's going to get dropped. We also have some new Legends EA rumors to take a look at, as well as plenty of things to break down today. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, let's go over the latest Nintendo Switch 2 rumors. This is talking about the price and also when we're likely to see. It was posted on Game Reactor UK. It says Nintendo Switch 2 should release around June and sell for more than €400. So this is, again, just a rumor. This isn't like a leaked bit of information like we've been covering in recent videos. But either way, it says Nintendo Switch 2 should release around June and sell for more than €400. The year could not end without new information about the launch of the Switch successor, still without an official name. And it goes on to say there is already a response to this morning's rumors that made the launch of the Nintendo Switch's successor in the current fiscal year impossible. According to former Game Reactor editor Juan Fonseca, definitely got that name wrong, I do apologize. As per gathered from various sources on Nintendo, the supposed Nintendo Switch 2 will arrive around June 2025, maybe July, for a price between €400 and €500. So these claims from various developers are in line with other recent leaks and the assumption that Nintendo is simply unable to produce enough machines to meet demand for a hypothetical launch in the early part of the year. Nintendo has declined to comment on this new information. Given the tipster's usual reliability, the launch of Switch 2, or whatever Nintendo ends up calling the new console, can for now be assumed to be in the summer of 2025 release window, barring any last-minute changes. So there's a lot of... It's a bit of a weird situation right now, because there's some leakers saying there's not going to be enough stock of this console, so it could get announced in January, but then it's not going to come out till like June, July. And then there's other leakers saying there's loads of stock already, it's going to get announced in July, it's coming out in March, and we're going to have it this next spring. So it's like both sides of the argument, and we're just constantly like covering each of them. I feel like it's like a new bit of information every single day, but it's just like which side is it going to jump on. But either way, that's the article. And then we also have Samus Hunter as well, who has a very, very weird track record, but they have been right about some things in the past. They've also been wrong about things in the past. Recently, they have been right about a couple of things, which is obviously helping their reliability and their credibility. But either way, this is what they have to say on the situation. So Samus Hunter here saying, this lines up with what I heard. For the price, I heard it would have been on the lower side of this range, not 500, but most likely 399 to 449, depending on region or tax included, and a late spring release like June. And then it says, and then they say late spring release, May/June release, depending on production number for launch, aiming for $399 to $499, depending on taxes. Presentation already confirmed for this fiscal year, which obviously we know about, it's March, has to be by March. Between late January, February, no information on that now. And then they say they still have to announce some Switch 1 games. And then we also have a replying to this as well, seeming more likely that it's going to be the case. I'm doubting that they'll be able to pull off a release before May 2025. Yeah, a May release is not off the table, but it might be difficult logistically. But they can easily release another Switch 1 game during that month to fill the gap. So if the Switch 2 doesn't get released early next year and it does come out like June, July, does that mean they're just going to do like more and more ports? Like, there's obviously always talk about Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, stuff like that for Zelda to get ported and stuff. And if that's the case, then I think if you're getting big games like that, like big ported games like that, it'd be more than enough to keep people occupied for like a couple of extra months. The only other issue is obviously if you're not a Zelda fan, then you know they're going to have to do like loads of different ports, but are they really going to be able to do all that? Don't really know. I mean, the best thing about it is obviously we do have backwards compatibility, so if they do a bunch of ports like at the early start of next year, then you're still going to be able to play them on the Switch too, so that's not an issue. But the main things to take away from this is, yeah, $399 to $449, that is the price I'd expect to see. Like $300 was how much the Switch 1 was. So $399 to $449 sounds about right. Again, there's still been rumors that we're going to have like a digital edition, then like a physical edition as well. Just like how the PlayStation have done it, or Sony have done it, and obviously Microsoft as well. So that's still on the cards. And then as well as that, There's presentations obviously already confirmed for this fiscal year. We know about that. And then, yeah, May, June release, depending on production number for launch. So, again, looks like it could still be late January, early February that this game isn't, this console is announced. That seemingly is what a lot of people are agreeing on, which sounds about right. They've only got till March to announce it anyway, so January and February is just very, very likely to be the case. It's just kind of the release of the console that people are a little bit unsure about. But either way, they're the latest rumors about it. Yeah, I mean, as long as we get the announcement and then we get like a decent release kind of window, then, I mean, that's all we really, really want. But either way, that's the first thing I wanted to go over. The next thing isn't like a rumor or anything. It's just something that people have been saying that they kind of want the Switch 2 to have in regards to hardware and stuff. It says, it's from Game Rant, it says, as Nintendo ramps up to compete with Sony and Microsoft with the Switch 2, shouldn't pass up one key hardware opportunity. So they say, in some ways, Nintendo is the most interesting player in the console space right now. While both the forthcoming PS6 and the next Xbox system are being viewed with a bit of trepidation due to the relatively minuscule technical leap between the 8th and 9th console generations, the Nintendo Switch has continued to garner positive press and sales. This is despite the fact that the Switch is considerably underpowered in comparison to its competition. Rather than pushing ahead with complex and expensive hardware features like ray tracing, Nintendo's focus with the Switch has always been strong exclusives and a no-frills user experience. Even the system's most significant hardware refresh, the Switch OLED, was designed with the intention of improving the experience of playing in handheld mode rather than attempting to revolutionize the console with ambitious new design implementations. While one can only assume that Nintendo will reach for greater processing power and visual fidelity with the Switch successor, in order to keep the emphasis on player experience at the forefront, it can do this while competing with the likes of Sony by doubling down on an often overlooked aspect of the original Switch. So the Nintendo Switch 2 should hone in on HD rumble. So Sony's DualSense controller is one of the best parts of the PS5. Though overlooked or written off as a gimmick by some, the haptic features of this controller have proven to be effective in elevating various games, increasing immersion in both realistic and more outlandish titles. Indeed, from The Last of Us Part 2 to Astrobot, the advanced features of the DualSense have been instrumental in shaping next-gen gaming experiences. I, for one, not a fan of the haptic feature. It just feels weird, like when you're trying to push down on the triggers and you have to push it down even more. It's just, I feel like it's really, really uncomfortable. So I'd hate the Switch to have this. I mean, as long as you can turn it off, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, it's not really something that I don't think it's something that you definitely need. How could Nintendo could compete with the DualSense on the Switch 2? So central feature of the DualSense, like adaptive triggers, should set a new industry standard. Even if other console manufacturers don't directly ape Sony's approach, expanding the haptics experience to controller triggers, which are the most inherently tactile part of the modern gamepad, seems like a no-brainer. And on a hybrid console, like the Switch 2, this could lead to even more dramatically engaging and gripping, no pun intended, gaming experiences. Fundamentally, the DualSense's vibration is very similar to that of the Joy-Cons and Switch Pro controller, in that it offers a wide spectrum of vibrations for different in-game scenarios, but it goes further by being localized, meaning that players can theoretically get a more one-to-one haptic experience based on what their in-game avatar is meant to be feeling. Learning from this focus through haptics could be a boon for the Nintendo Switch 2's controllers. Would be extremely unlikely, on top of being disappointing, if Nintendo were to back down from its haptics initiative with the Switch 2. Though overshadowed in many regards by the DualSense, HD Rumble is a fantastic part of the Switch hardware ecosystem. And with the PS5 hogging all the attention with its controller, there's no better time for Nintendo to remind audience of its relevance in this arena. I mean, I don't think it needs it, really. It's one of those features that I think will just... it'll be... I don't think it's like a necessity. I think 60 FPS, you know, like 4K, stuff like that, like backwards compatibility, like that's what people want. I don't think haptics and stuff on the controller and all this, I don't think it's like a massive thing that people are really, really wanting. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Is that something you'd like the Switch 2 to have, or are you really not that bothered about it? And then also let me know your thoughts on the Switch 2 potential price and release date as well. Finishing things off though, we do have a new rumor to go over about Pokemon Legends ZA. This was posted on the 11th of December, and it's just titled Update, posted by Anonymous with a Froakie sprite. So it says, Shiny Rayquaza Raid, first of raid events for Legend ZA. So I assume they'd be doing Legend ZA raid events in Scarlet and Violet. Starts off with Shiny Rayquaza, which again, I feel like will still be quite a bit... I've got a feeling it will be a part of ZA. Like, obviously, Rayquaza's had a massive role in the anime. The Legend ZA could literally be about Rayquaza as well. I know because it obviously ends in ZA. Very, very unlikely. Very much likely going to be about Zygarde, but you never know because we literally know nothing about this game. But I think that Rayquaza still will have quite a big role to play. Not a massive role to play in this game, but I think it will be available in the game, and I think that, like, because we're getting the Shiny Rayquaza raid, it'd be nice to be able to use that in Pokemon Legends ZA. It then says it's followed by 7-star raids of Kalos starters, starting with Greninja. So the 7-star raids for Greninja, Delphox, and Chestnut would follow the Shiny Rayquaza. So these would be the sort of raids for like Legends ZA. It says the 7-star raid is accompanied by a mass outbreak event of that starter. So when we get a Greninja raid, we'd get a Froakie outbreak, which I do like the idea of. The only thing is, at this point, that I assume they wouldn't have announced the starters, so they would have kind of, they'd be telling us the starters without telling us the starters. And I think if they did a Generation 6 starter big event like this, then everyone would assume that they would be the starters. But I mean, if we got a small trailer in January that revealed the starters and then they did these sort of events, that'd be kind of cool. Because yeah, I think a Greninja raid and a Froakie outbreak would be really cool. Like the Froakie outbreak is shiny boosted, or it's like mark boosted or something like that. This leads up to Pokemon Day. There is no trailer in January. Riddler-Coup is a liar. I feel like whenever these rumors kind of talk about Coup, though, it's just like, it just makes it seemingly very, very fake. Because if they know information, like, I don't know, it's just a weird one. I feel like it's just a bit petty, you know, just to say, not that I'm defending Riddler-Coup, because obviously his track record has been very shaky. It's just going out of your way to say, I don't know. I mean, I guess if he is wrong, then, you know, I don't know, I wouldn't call him a liar, I just feel like he doesn't know the information. But either way, apparently, according to this person, there's no trailer in January, which, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because obviously we're getting a trailer in February, so to get two back-to-back trailers that quick when we haven't had anything for 10 months, like, what's another month, really? You know, we've already waited this long, so I wouldn't be surprised to see no January trailer. I'd love to see one, because I think everybody deserves some information on this game now, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to get nothing, because like I said, we're definitely getting information in February. So Legends EA trailer on Pokemon Day, so, you know, water is wet, very, very obvious. Not much is known, as they scrapped the 2024 trailer and are changing it completely. But, I mean, that kind of contradicts what he's just said, because he's just said they scrapped the 2024 trailer, and that's what Riddler-Coup said. Riddler-Coup said they were going to do it in October, but they scrapped it, and then they did it, and then they're going to do it in January. So, he's calling Riddler-Coup a liar, but then also, he's kind of, he's just basically saying that what he's also said is correct. It's a weird one. I don't know about that. This seems very, very fake. But they are changing it completely, apparently. So the starters will be shown, though, as well as new Mega Evolutions. So, yeah, I mean, on Pokemon Day, I definitely expect to see new Mega Evolutions. I'd be surprised if we didn't see any. Even, like, 1 or 2 would be enough, really. It says there's a new block style introduced. So obviously, we have Strong Style, we have Agile Style. We're getting a new block style, which I assume is defensive. So obviously, you take less damage or something like that. It says it takes place in the past. So very similar to, obviously, Legends Arceus. A lot of people think it will be set in the future, but set in the past could also be very, very good. Some ancestors are shown, so I assume that's like Serena's ancestor, Sycamore's ancestor, stuff like that, and then that's all I know. I mean, they start off by saying they don't know much, and then they give us literally like loads of what the trailer, like the trailer will literally have, like that's a trailer in itself, so they don't know much, but they've given us enough content for a trailer, basically, so bit of a weird one. And it says Gen 10 also announced on Pokemon Day Pokemon Day for 2026. So again, I still think that's not out of the woods. I think that's still a possibility where they announce it for 2026, so a year in advance, just like they did with Legends ZA, should I say? And I kind of hope that's the case, because I don't think it'd diminish the sales of Legends ZA, because that game's coming out 2025, and if they say that Gen 10 is 2026. We get the announcement ready for Pokemon's 30th anniversary, but obviously we know the game would be coming. So I think it just get people more excited, but I think people would still want to buy Legends EA anyway, because we haven't had a Pokemon game in a year. Well, in a couple years, really, if you don't count the DLC, and there's obviously no other Pokemon game coming next year. So I think Legends EA will still sell very, very well, and then we do get the big announcement of the Pokemon Generation 10 game. So I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I don't believe this, though. I think this is just... I don't really... It just kind of contradicts itself a lot. Yeah, don't think it's true. I think it's just more of a fan fiction. But either way, let me know your thoughts on this rumor here. And then also, like I say, let me know your thoughts on everything else that we covered today in regards to the Switch 2. Like, would you pay 400 euros for the Switch 2? I think that's a respectable price. I think around that is absolutely fine. Like $150 increase from the original Switch. I mean, you're gonna have to be paying those prices now. Like, we all saw how bad the PS5 Pro is. Like, what, $700-800? Can't remember. It's just very expensive, which is like double the price potentially of the Switch 2, which is just ridiculous in this day and age. But either way, let me know your thoughts on it all. If you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, or ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a great rest of your day. Until next time, peace.